Okay, let's dig into the dreaded finite state machine. This took a lot of life out of me, Andre, I'm not gonna lie. But it is working 100%, pretty sure. So let's just start off with the centipede states.h. So each one of them is a static const, so not being modified in any way. This is where they're created, and they are not recreated or copied. Alright, so let's move right along to move state.cpp. So yeah, all of this is set up essentially like the examples that you gave us. So let's just look at an example of a state. So I've got turnRightDown.h. So we've got a virtual const get next state. Yeah, and pretty much all of the states look like this. We look at turn right down, or move right down, turn right down. Essentially the same deal across the board. And then the actual implementation itself is inside get next state for each one. So you have move right down here. We're taking int y. We're checking the mushroom field. Turn right down. All the implementation is here. And in centipede head, I think I lost it. Where'd it go? Come on. Okay. So this is the update loop for centipede.head, centipede head, sorry, which inherits from the base class centipede. Yeah. So all of the functionality is get movement offsets, state.get movement offsets. So I'm not directly modifying the exposition, or I am directly modifying the exposition, but I'm not doing any calculations. It's all offloaded to these. So yeah, I also have a set rotation for when the centipede actually turns. Yeah, so I'm doing a little bit more than I'd like to in the update function, and that's just kind of a result of how I have the grid set up. So I'm doing a cast and checking against the X position. So I'm essentially just checking if the centipede is in the center of my grid position, and that's how I'm calling get next state. So I'm not checking every single frame if there's a mushroom ahead. It's only if it's directly in the center of the frame, which also consequently means that I have to have a relatively, or an exact speed. So my speed is 0.25, and it can't be anything that doesn't increment evenly, because I am checking if this float X position is exactly in the center of the grid, and that's just a result of how I have it set up again. So I kind of have to deal with it that way, or I have to change the entire project. So the body does not have an update function, so we're actually calling move. And this is also set up as a doubly linked list. Obviously, I don't think anyone else did it a different way. But yeah, so we're just sending the movement commands to the body. I'm using a ref state because I didn't want to, like, because these are inherited from centipede, I didn't want to use state for this, because the body would then start taking, it would start pointing to like an actual state. So I'm just using ref state to get the movement offsets for the body, and that's all that it's looking at. So it's not calling get next state on anything. It's just, hey, what's the movement offset? Okay, I'm going to do that. Alright, so let me just show you a quick demonstration. Let's go directly into player mode, and I'll just increment frame by frame. Yeah, so I do have, I'll show you my movement collections real quick. I really wish this spider would shut up. Yeah, I'm just gonna stop that. So in the movement collections.h, I have a row offset, a column offset, a smooth offset, and an angle. So all of this is controlling the movement that you see on the screen here. Yeah. So if we step through, the smooth offset is actually offsetting the centipede a little bit off the screen. I was actually taking a look at the original Atari version, and it also had some like weird screen glitches when it got to the end. So I was kind of trying to implement something that looked like it, or as close to it as I could possibly get. But yeah, it's much more noticeable when there are like two mushrooms that are next to each other and you can actually see it move the way that it's supposed to move. Let me see if I can show you the poison state. See if we can get Scorpion to spawn in here. Oh, it's gonna take a while. Alright, while we're waiting on that, oh boy. Yeah, you might as well just skip ahead like 20 seconds and see if it gets to hit this thing. Oh, it's not even gonna hit it. Okay, I believe that was in the first video anyway, so you can see how that's implemented. Sorry for wasting a bit of your time there. So anyway, the movement collections... Yeah, I completely lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. Yeah, so I think I've demonstrated that I've minimized the amount of testing, albeit with a cast into an in, it's not the best, but it's kind of how it has to work. And I'm not checking the... I'm not checking ahead every single frame. It's every so often when we're in the center of the grid position. So it should be relatively efficient. I am just mindlessly clicking. Where is my centipede head? Okay. Yeah. I should not be initializing a float in here, but I guess I'm going to have to deal with it. So yeah, this is the smooth also. It's one of the last things that I implemented, so it doesn't look as pretty as it could, to be honest. Yeah, I'm setting the position, setting the rotation based on the angle there. Okay, I think that's it. This is the like biggest pattern, and I can step through all of these and show you. I do have a poison state that was implemented. So here are all of the actual states, which you've probably already seen. Yeah, sorry, I keep pausing here, but I'm pretty. This is a really big pattern. Took up a great majority of my time. If you want to step through and look at all of these files and just make sure that they look as fantastic as you need them to look, by all means. But I'm going to stop the video right here. Hopefully I've explained it as thoroughly as I need to.